Good morning, everybody. If you're wondering why I'm in my jacket and it's almost summer, I will tell you. I live in Washington State, and Washington State is schizophrenic. Washington State is schizo, y'all. Very, very schizo. Schizo, schizo, schizo. It'll lie to you and tell you, you know what? It's summer coming. And then it'll wake you up one morning and it's winter again. Then it'll tell you, no, it's spring. Then by that afternoon, it's summer. Then that night, it drops to winter. Next morning, it's still winter. You dress for winter till about 11 o'clock, and then by noon, it's 90 degrees. I think someone should check on Washington State to see if it's okay. Probably do some physical therapy and some mental therapy, therapy in general for Washington State and its schizophrenia. Man alive. Anyway, I woke up this morning. It was very cold, and I do feel a lot better. My stings have gone from swelling my whole back to just the top portion of my trap. So I feel much better. However, I still have a bone deep pain in the left arm from that sting. It's crazy what it did, but man alive. I hope it never happens again. Topic today is a little different. And the reason it popped up into my head was that the entire weekend, my FYP on Facebook, my FYP on Twitter, my FYP on TikTok, my FYP on Instagram was flooded, absolutely flooded with women that cannot find a good man. Because men are this and men are that and men are the other and men, and they're all talking about men, how bad men are. Can't find no good one. And it made me start to think, are they looking for the perfect husband? I know many of you out there are female. I get that majority of my viewership are indeed female. In fact, I'm going to take a gander here and tell you exactly what it is. Okay? You might be not surprised, you might be surprised. The average, let me not do average. There are 92.8% of you that watch my channel are female. 92.8% of the viewing audience are female. 7.2 are male. I am honestly surprised by that for one reason. I don't speak women empowerment here. I don't try to make women the center. I don't try to make them the topic. I don't try to put you in a role that ain't yours. I try to let women know that you are a prize when you stick to your God ordained position. A man will walk across coals in front of trains, stop falling helicopters for a woman of virtue. A man will have no problem stepping in front of bullets, hunting down people that harm his wife when you are a woman of virtue. But unfortunately, I think a lot of women think they're the prize because of what they possess physically. That may get you a guy, but it will never get you a husband. So, what is the perfect husband? Is there such a thing as the perfect husband? So let me ask the crowd, those who are married and unmarried, is there such a thing as the perfect husband? Yay or nay? Do you believe that there is such a thing as the perfect husband? No. No? Wow. No. Maybe, just maybe, you have a different description of the word perfect, which is why I'm doing the topic today. There is such a thing as the perfect husband. There is a perfect husband. You want to know what the perfect husband is? Anybody want to guess what a perfect husband is? A husband. A husband is the perfect husband. Did you know that? A husband is the perfect husband. You want me to break down what I mean by that? And no, not Jesus. Jesus is not your husband. Jesus is Lord. Jesus is Lord. He has husbands that he has selected for wives. He told husbands to love their wives as he loves the church. I hear a lot of people saying, Jesus is my husband. No, 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 no. But a husband is the perfect husband. I will give you what I mean. Proverbs 31. All right. Proverbs 31 talks about what? Proverbs 31 speaks about the virtuous wife. Correctly? Okay, good, good. Did you know, though, that in Proverbs 31, he does indeed talk about husbands? Did you know that? Who can find a virtuous wife? Who is looking for the virtuous wife? Let me ask you that. Who is looking for a virtuous wife? Who looks for a wife? Not a husband? Does a husband look for a wife? Yes? Okay, good. So while this might be describing the wife, it's really describing what the husband is looking for. So let's start with what the perfect husband does. The perfect husband looks for a virtuous wife. Okay. For her worth is above rubies. So he's valuing his wife. Perfect husband values his wife. The heart of her husband safely trusts in her. The perfect husband trusts his wife. You see, right off the top, it's telling you everything that a man will look for in a woman. And while I understand that the woman has to, be the things that they're describing here, then ask yourself, if a perfect husband is out there and you ain't found one yet, are you then possibly not portraying the virtues listed here for the perfect husband to find? Just a thought. Just a thought, y'all. It goes on to describe what she does. Then it comes right back again to the husband later on. Let me see if I can get down to it here. Let's go to, where is it at? Where is it at here? Her husband is known at the gates, is what it says here. In fact, yes, there it is. Her husband is known in the gates when he sits among the elders of the land. The perfect husband situates himself among godly men that are elders to either aid or to get guidance from. A perfect husband does that. Okay. Those are traits so far listed in the virtuous wife about the husband. Goes on again. Her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. A perfect husband will praise his wife, the virtuous wife. Perfect husband. Now, my question to the audience here is, what do you think perfect is? You see, because a lot of us look at perfect as an ultra patient, never loses his cool, never has a down day, doesn't get impatient, never makes a mistake. That's not perfect, by the way. You remember they called David a man after God's own heart? That's what they called David, right? Explain to me what David did on quite a few occasions. David messed up royally on quite a few occasions, but he was still referred to as a man after God's own heart. But we're talking about the perfect husband, not in the person, in the office. We're talking about the office of a husband. The office of a husband is indeed perfect because you cannot be a husband if not one that God says is a husband. You see, a lot of people today get married. Atheists get married all the time. But the thing about it is that man didn't ordain marriage, God did. Man didn't come up with the idea of marriage, God did. Man didn't come up with the idea of a husband and a wife, God did. Man didn't set the parameters of what a wife or a husband's role is, God did. The office is his. The office of husband is his office. He gets to dictate what the role of that husband is. Not man, not woman, God. So let's look at what the office entails. Okay, let's look at what the office entails. Ephesians 5. Wives, submit to your own husbands as to the Lord, for the husband is the head of the wife, as also Christ is the head of the church, and he is the savior of the body. The first role in that office of husbandry is the head of the wife, as edicted by God, not by man, God. Therefore, just as the church is subject to Christ, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything. I do understand that people will come after this video is over and try to say that this is not just a statement of everything. It doesn't mean it. No, it does mean every single thing. If you have a husband, there's only one office, right? Only God dictates it. You have the husband, a perfect husband. Then yes, your role is to submit in everything. Didn't say some, didn't say partial, didn't say a few, didn't say only when you feel like it. It said everything. Now, if you watch what will allow you to be able to submit, it tells you It tells you what makes you able to submit. The office of the husband is under the jurisdiction of God, right? So under his jurisdiction, then he follows God. As a husband, to be in that role, to be a husband, you have to follow God. Perfect. If you follow God, that's your job as a husband. Wives will submit because they're submitting to the husbands as the church is submitted to Christ. Okay. Husbands, love your wives just as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for her, that he might sanctify and cleanse her with the washing of water by the word, that he might present her to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that she should be holy and without blemish. There is no such thing, Gazelle. I know this is where I'm going to upset a lot of people. There is no such thing as a non-godly man. What do I mean by that crazy off-the-wall statement that there is no such thing as an ungodly man? What do I mean by that? There's a reason why I'm saying it like that. And while I do understand what people are going to say and mean, there is no such thing as an ungodly man. There are ungodly men, but a man, by definition, because God ordained it, is a godly one. The only way for you to be a man is to be godly. Otherwise, you're just male. You may try to pretend to be a man, but you will never know manhood unless you become a man of God. A man of God is a man. Ungodly men, in terms of mankind, exist, yes. But a man only comes when you follow God. Only comes that way. Zero other ways. Zero other ways. Yes, it does. It's called counting the cost. It's called counting the cost. If I am going to walk from here to East Wenatchee, it's about a 2-mile walk, okay? Maybe 3, depending on where I go. Let's say it's a 3-mile walk. And I have to traverse traffic lights, bridges, some grass, a couple of spots with rock. And it's winter time. You know what I will not do? Just willy-nilly walk out the door without counting the cost of walking that far in the snow and just decide to walk out flip-flop shorts and t-shirt. I check. It's snowing. I'm going to need boots. I'm going to need a jacket. I'm going to need a hat. I'm going to need to stay warm. So I count the cost. If I am not willing to forsake mother, father, child, all of it for his sake, which is indeed the Son of a man, God, I can't follow him. I can't follow him because I put other people ahead of him. If, however, I take up his charge to protect the things that he has given me, I am following him 100%. So, yes, you must be willing if they are in the way of you following God. Yes. Yes. So, husbands ought to love their own wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. I'm not going to purposefully walk in front of a train. I'm not going to step in a place with a bramble bush barefooted. I'm not going to go provoke a dog that I don't know. There are things I do that are self preservation type behavior, right? I should have the exact same approach to my wife. I preserve, I don't put in public harm, I don't directly try to destroy them. Perfect husband. For no one ever hated his own flesh, but nourishes and cherishes it, just as the Lord does the church. For we are members of his body, of his flesh, of his bones. For this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh, no different than Adam and Eve. No different than Adam and Eve. Absolutely no different. Adam and Eve, for lack of a better term, were cut from the same cloth. It was ordained by God, set up by God, sanctified by God. But the problem is when certain people step out of their roles, destruction, demise, and harm show up. Both Adam and Eve stepped away from their God ordained roles. Adam stepped away from headship, and Eve stepped out from subserviency. She stepped into the leadership, and he stepped back into the shadows. What ensued was the end and demise of mankind. We set ourselves up. This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Christ and the church. Nevertheless, let each one of you in particular so love his own wife as himself, and let the wife see that she respects her husband. The perfect husband does exist, and it comes in the form of a man that follows God. Not believes that he exists. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about a man that goes to church. No, not him either. I'm not even talking about a man that knows how to dress right. I'm talking about a man that has given himself to God. Perfect husband. So, yes, he does exist. 100% he exists. But how can one know, you women, how can one know if your person that you're interested in is a perfect husband? There is only one person that can do that. Only one person that can give you that info. Only one. I wonder who that might be. So, what does that mean? You have to be also following God. Let me show you what I mean. Let me show you what I mean. Let me show you what I mean. All right, hang on. Let me grab this real quick. Mm-mm-mm-mm. All right, here we go. We'll go to Genesis. All right, we're going to go to Genesis. We are going to read in Genesis chapter 2. Okay? Genesis chapter 2, 18. And the Lord God said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him a helper comparable to him. Out of the ground, the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every bird of the air and brought them to Adam to see what he would call them. And whatever Adam called each living thing, that was their name. So Adam gave names to all the cattle, to all the birds of the air, to every beast of the field. But for Adam, there was not found a helper comparable to him. And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall on Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh in its place. Then the rib which the Lord God had taken from man, he made into a woman. This is the linchpin right here. And he brought her to the man. He brought her to the man. God already did everything he had to do with Adam, right? He crafted Adam. Adam was one with God. He was always in front of God, always before him. Anything that needed to get done was done. He took care of the garden. He named the animals. There was communion between Adam and God, was there not? Good. And then God created woman from the side of Adam. And when he awoke, God brought Eve to Adam. Here's what I find most women do. They have the hardest time waiting to be brought. they have the absolute hardest time waiting to be brought to Adam. The crazy thing is, Eve was brought to Adam and still, in all of that, acted up. And Adam, despite all of that, still gave in. Here's the problem with both men and women. Both men and women have the basic problem of abiding. We both have this issue of abiding in God. But the perfect husband is a role, just as the perfect wife is a role. It's not based on a man's behavior. It is not based on what the man thinks or how it's based on what God's office is. And there is a perfect office of husbandry. There is a standard for being a wife. Same as there's a standard for being a husband. And the only place and way you can get into those offices is through one avenue and one avenue only. That's God. But people, if you are a woman that wants a husband, there's only one way to get it. Only one way. And that is to let God bring you to him. So what does that really mean? And we go back to Proverbs 31. You are a wife before you become a wife. Your mindset about being a wife, since it comes from God, comes with you following God first. So he can indeed bring you to your husband. He's prepping the person, prepping you, and he will ordain the time. Our problem is we're not patient enough. Biological clock and all that jazz. We want to not wait. So what happens when we don't wait? We end up doing all kinds of crazy, stupid stuff, thinking this is the one. I have measured it all. Man, I know he is. Why? Because he's so fine. Why are you picking her? Because she's so fine. She makes me laugh. He makes me laugh. I think he'll be a good father. I think she'll be a good mother. We have the similar life goals. We have similar life goals. She wants to do this and I want to do this, and we're fine. We want to travel when we're older. We find all these superficial similarities. We find a bunch of superficial similarities. So that when something goes awry and one of the similarities go bye-bye, what's the first thing to fall apart? Communication. The relationship is starting to sour. He's not what he used to be. She's not what she used to be. I can't understand what became of him. You do know that people change over time, right? Like for men, I'll give you an example for women out there that wonder about men and how we operate. A male would do things for myriad of reasons. And sometimes we can get burnt out trying to maintain a certain vision that a woman has of us. And when we do get burnt out, you will say something like, "Oh, he finally showed his true colors." You ever thought that maybe he didn't show his true colors because if he did show his true colors, the person that you want would not be him? Do you think maybe that the demand that you're putting on men is unrealistic and technically ungodly? What should be the very first thing you should be looking for in a husband? You should be looking for the perfect. The perfect what? One, God. If God is not at the center of his life, it's not your husband. It might be a man you're physically attracted to. It might be a man who has money. It might be a man that has all the things you're looking for since your birth to sign your checklist off on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's got this. He's got that. He's got. But does he have God? Is God the center? Is God all? And I'm not saying that he is perfect in his following of God, but I am saying that he isn't perfect in his love towards God. The flesh will always fight him. Understand that. But his love for God will always bring him back. Are you looking for the right trait? You're worried about finding a man. You're worried about hoping to find yourself a husband. It's a twofold looking. Either you are presentable as a virtuous wife and you know what to look for in a husband by finding God first. But if you're messed up on those two, you're never going to find you a good husband. You might find you a man, male, a worldly man, masculine, strong, beard, cuts down trees with one chop, knows how to fix a car, lift an engine out of the whole truck, just one hand, breaking jaws of lions and all kinds of stuff, like a man, right? Jumps in minus 150-degree water and comes out, warm. That kind of man. People look at him, and once he looks at them, just side eye, they melt. They're gone. That's a man, right? You can step into any crowd, and everybody looks at him thinking, "Oh my gosh, fear, man." He doesn't know God. And if he doesn't know God, is he a man? Just a strong male. He's just a strong, really strong male, powerful male. Man? I just find it kind of crazy that what we see today is this superficial view of being a husband and what women look for. And if you look at what's going on in today's society, a man must be able to be this tall, and he's got to have this much money, and he's got to have this kind of job, and he's got to be able to provide. He's got to upkeep the way I look. He's got to do this. He's got to. Ask them though, are you willing to submit? No. Then you ain't gonna find that kind of man. There's no man, even a worldly person, is not gonna look at a woman and think, I can't wait for her to abuse my pocket. Nobody in their right mind looks for a female like that. Like nobody. And if he does pick you, he's picking you for one thing and one thing only. And that is whether you can fulfill his bedroom desires. That's it. You are skin. That's it. I'm telling you now, the unfortunate reality for those of you looking for that kind of a man, he will take you as long as you offer what you offer, and he'll pay you for it, no problem. But after a while, you'll outlive that, and you won't be as young, you won't be as attractive. You'll go find somebody younger. However, if you were to submit yourself like the virtuous wife and do the things that he had in mind for you, he will bring you to your husband. The patience it will take will go away. Why? Because you're serving God. Technically, you won't really feel that lonely. Yes, you will. There's some physical things that take place that you may long for, no doubt. Not gonna. We're adults here, okay? We're adults here. We can talk frankly. I have no doubt that men and women alike want the majority of us want somebody that they can be married to that can fulfill a lot of the issues they encounter in the flesh. No doubt about that. It's not a bad thing. That's what you procreation is a thing. It's a thing. That is not a dislikable or something that you should not want. There are, however, some men and women that can do without that and are happily married. No doubt about that either. But we ain't cut from the same cloth, not all of us. Even Paul said so. I wish that some of y'all could be eunuchs, but I know that you don't want to burn with desire, so get married. He said it too. So I'm not being, you know, silly with this where I think for sure y'all should know. I know better. I know better. But understand this. It is more than that. And I will give you some insight. You may not believe this, but when your walk, both husband and wife, their walk with God is on point, or at least going in the same direction, you will find way more, and I mean way more fulfillment in that aspect of your life than if you were to go with that as the leading thing. If you go in looking to try and find, so like men, you have a thing for the chest or you have a thing for the behind. We can be, I'm telling you, we're adults here, right? You got a thing, you got a certain body type you like, certain kind of face, certain kind of eyes, certain kind of mouth. Heck, some people nose, some people feet. I don't know. You have your preference about male or female, right? Cool. If you make that the first thing you look for, I will guarantee you money that will fade. Chests sag, butts go away, stomachs become a thing after babies are born. There are things that go on with a woman after they have a child that I thought was just absolutely insane. Did you know that some women gain height after they have a child? Their shoe size goes up or down after having a child. Some of them get so damaged from having a child that there are stitches needed both internally, externally. There are some women that their entire drive for that thing goes away. Some it ramps up. There are a myriad of things that happen when a woman has a child. Not to mention 2, 3, 4. The same things that happen when a man gets a job that works him 60 hours a week. Sometimes his drive goes down. Sometimes it goes up because of the absence of time. Sometimes the need for solitary time goes up, and sometimes he needs to be. So lots of things change. What does not and should not change in the roles and offices of a husband and a wife is who is number one. God. If God is number one, you know where you can always find middle ground? You know where you can always find a similarity? What never changes, whether because your sex drive goes up or down, your body gets fat or skinny, your shoe size changes, your hours at work, you know what never changes? God. Never changes. You plug into that, that's where you guys can find middle ground. You will always have unity there. It will always be perfect there. Years ago, I got this analogy from somebody about the triangle, right? And people start on either end, male and female. This is where they start. So the bottom line of the triangle. And God is up here. And if man and woman are going to God, automatically they get closer. It is organic that they become closer without even doing a single thing to adjust. None of them stops and goes sideways. I was stopping as they're closer, they only stop following God and they expect to connect. No, no, no. If you stop there, you'll never meet. You never meet if you stop there. You got to keep going. I think, unfortunately, marriage has become a thing of if I don't like the person, listen here, I'm not that old. I am not. I talk about being old all the time, but I know better. Okay, I do. But hear me out. Hear me out. I will guarantee you this: you're gonna have multiple days where you don't like your spouse. You, trust and believe me, you're gonna have days where you just don't like that sucker. You do not like your wife. You don't like your husband. In the words of James Earl Jones, what law is it that say I got to like you? There are gonna be days you don't like that. You man, we. I'm telling you now. You go like them, but but love does not require liking the person. Love doesn't require liking anybody. Love is a whole separate thing. Love is in spite of. Like is because of. Like is because of. Love is in spite of. Perfect husband. He exists. Same way a virtuous wife exists. Heck, perfect wife exists too. The perfect wife is one that follows God to the specifications of the office of a wife. The perfect husband is one who follows the specification of the office of husband. And when it's time to match, God will take that woman of virtue that he crafted. And in order to be crafted, you have to be in the hands of the maker, right? Good. So he crafted you and will bring you to the husband he crafted. Listen to this. He crafted Adam. He crafted Eve. He did the crafting and he did the bringing to each other. We don't want him to do the crafting, and we definitely ain't waiting on him to bring someone to you. Maybe you should wait. There are some days that you'll go through as a married couple, okay? Hear me out. Where you really are just there. And women, I will give you some advice if your man, husband gets to that place. A simple act of service is all it will take. It really is. And I don't mean cook an elaborate meal. I don't mean, I mean, of course, if his stomach is the key, by all means, cook an elaborate meal. But it is the caring of something that is some outside of his control. He comes home from work and he's had the worst possible day. The boss is always down his throat, and his employees are the absolute worst, laziest, most pathetic human beings that day. And he's had to do everybody else's job and his. You've had a rough day too, okay? No doubt. But do not forget your role is first to him. To him. It is to him. He gets home and you see that something ain't right. Take the time to do something to make him feel like what happened out there is not here. What happened out there is rough, but here you have peace. Here, I got you. I will guarantee you this. You do that and watch your husband just automatically ask you, "What can I do for you?" The kids act up, I will take care of that. You need something, watch and see how that works. It won't be because he feels obliged to do it. It's an automatic protectionary thing that kicks in when his needs are met as one who serves him. And that is frowned upon anymore. Men now are told to shut up, sit in a corner, work your behinds off, and be quiet and do what I ask you. Get my honeydew list done. Get all of it done. Do, 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 do. And maybe once in a while, I might let you touch me. No, no. The Bible says that you are supposed to be what? Serving your husband, submitting to him. You are actually one of the people that proves out his walk with God. You're so instrumental in that walk of his that he's looking to see a virtuous wife following his Lord alongside him. And a cantankerous, talkative, overly critical wife will not do that. You simply become another female that lives in the house. And if we want to be honest, both parties can cause the other to stumble. So, yes, I am saying that you can be responsible for your spouse stepping out. Don't think that somehow, oh, he always, it's his and oh, it's her and her. It's you. It's me. There is something you are not submitted to God in, and it's coming through in your relationship. And you are causing your brother and sister to stumble. If you are not plugged into, you'll never know what that is. He will show you when something is going off, and he will tell you, correct it. And in your correcting it, the relationship starts to grow. If you're not connected with God, you'll never know what you're doing wrong, and you won't correct it, and it will continue. And before too long, you no longer have a marriage. We have become a society where the world now is dictating what marriage should be. Look for your rich husband. Look for your fine wife. Make sure you share all the things that you need together. You want to go hiking? They like hiking. You want to go traveling? They must like traveling. Not a single mention of God. So to the women, men are simple creatures. We really are. We are very simple creatures. The majority of us, I should say, very simple creatures. We really don't require that much to be content or happy. The majority of us. There are some of us who are very not as cut and dry. We have some emotional ties to life. But majority of the time, we're just very simple people. We are. A show that you care, a meal once in a while. Really, it doesn't take even a big meal. I don't. Most of us don't even require like a 5-course meal. Heck, we come home and you make us our favorite something, a sandwich. If our sandwich is our big thing and you make that thing, you're in, you're in, you're in. That's it. You're in. You give us about a half hour to an hour after we're done working to just chill, you're in. You're literally in. It is so simple for men to be pleased. It is, trust me, it's not that difficult. And it's even easier when the man follows God. Yes, it is. It is. A lot of men eat good. Okay, we do. We do eat good. But it's not just you cook what you want to cook, you cook what he likes. Simple, real easy. A man will do plenty for a woman that can show that she's about taking care of the house, virtuous wife style. Men will bend backwards. He'll work 70 hours if he has to and happily do it. My father worked 2 jobs. He was always working, always. But he still found time to hang out with the kids and to be a husband. My father, in my eyes, was the perfect husband. Was he a perfect human? No, but he was the perfect husband. The man broke his back, he broke his body to take care of his family, like Christ. He sacrificed himself for his family, like Christ. He put his family first, like Christ. Men will do that in a heartbeat for the people that appreciate the things he does. A lot of women, a lot of men will give um, the flowers to the husband after they're gone. Many men don't even get their flowers while they're away, while they're alive. They wait till men are dead to tell them all the good things they've done. I saw this. Um, you know who Chris Rock is? Chris Rock had a joke, but it wasn't really a joke. He said, the only creature that does not get unconditional love is men. A dog and animals and children will get unconditional love. A woman will, not men. And that's a sad situation to be able for even the world to see. But here's the thing, a man doesn't need the accolades of the world to be one because he has his pursuit of God. The pursuit of God will replace a lot of the accolades of men. This is why the home is such a big deal. The home being its neutral ground for both husband and wife, both to seek the Lord and to be calm. It is yours. It is, for lack of a better term, your zen. That's your center. That's your spot where the two can be one. So, is there a perfect husband? Yes, there is. Because it's not based on what man does in terms of human, but what God has ordained for the office. So, if you are a female, single, longing for a good man, seek the person that can bring you to that good man. Seek the Lord like the virtuous wife, and he will bring you to your husband because he's crafting a man somewhere out there. He might just be waiting for you to submit yourself to him in everything, including the looking. Precisely. Precisely. And the only way that you can know if he's a godly man is by knowing God yourself. And there are tons of women that don't want to know God, but they're looking for a godly man. Do you want a good looking man? I'm sure most women do. Do most men want a good looking woman? Of course they do. But there are things more important than that. And the biggest, most important thing is that you're both seeking after God. Trust me, the attraction becomes way, way more when that happens. I'm telling you now from my little experience on earth. When that is in play, when that particular thing becomes normal to you, man, come on. You'll find yourself even wanting to, like, people who don't like to go work out, right? Once you start to work out, you feel different, right? You feel, man, whew, energized. Trust me, it hurts for the first few times. But once you get used to it, there's nothing like the gym. It is 50 billion times as potent once you start to follow God. It's painful to begin because you start seeing things about yourself that wow, wow, wow. But then you realize that's dead. That's gone. Now I can really pursue this thing. You feel so much better. And it starts to affect everything. Everything around you starts to get affected by that, including looking for your significant other. So, women, you want to find the perfect husband, become the virtuous wife, and God will take you to him. Men, you want to find the virtuous wife, submit your life to God, and he will bring the virtuous wife to you. Just let you know. All right, cool. Tomorrow, we'll be addressing a individual by the name of Juanita Bynum. Y'all know her, Juanita Bynum. I came across a video of her saying something that was so par for the course of today's society that we have to address it. We really do. We should address it because I've been saying it for a while. And I think we found the catalyst for that message being going out to women. It's a good follow up for today, tomorrow. Because once you hear it, I don't think you'll be able to contain your anger or laughter. You'll get both. From the same statement, you'll get both laughter and anger. And when I say anger, I mean like rage to where you want to be up on stage and snatch the wig off her head. Women, I'm talking about. The women will want to run up there, snatch that wig off her head, and just slam it on the floor. That's what you'd want to do. But you'll also laugh at how dumb she is. I'm telling y'all, you'll have both. You'll have double reactions. You might even laugh while snatching the wig off her head. I'm just saying what you're going to feel. Yeah, you're going to need your popcorn. Diane, you're going to need your popcorn. Trust me. Trust me. Mm-mm-mm. I couldn't believe it myself. You know what? You know what? I'm gonna let you hear just the precursor of it. I have to let you hear what she said. There's no other way to describe it other than the way Jesse would say. Um, let me I'll tell you what it's like. Okay, you this is what you're gonna say.
What the?
But as soon as someone says they're going to reveal something to be, and I reveal to be concerned.
All right, here we go. Get ready. I'm telling you, get ready. This is what part of what we're going to cover. I'm actually going to have her entire sermon, but this is a concept of what she said. Get ready. Turn this up a little bit.
Can I reveal the secret? The dragon hates you from Genesis because the dragon Satan, because he came from God, he prophesied to Eve. And he said, the Lord know when you eat it, you will have a gross mind like God.
Okay. So the devil prophesied to her that if she ate the fruit, she would have a gross mind like God. Okay. A gross mind like God. Okay. Jesse?
What the?
Anyway.
Bruh.
So we'll talk about that tomorrow. Savage Patriots will be on today, and we will have our newest member, Decoy, Glenn. Glenn will be on with us today. And I just want you all to be welcoming of the young man. Okay? Just be welcoming of the young man. He's a cool kid, man, real cool kid. No. You definitely hearing right. Akila, don't worry, you hearing completely right. A gross, Gross, mind like God. You heard it right. Don't let your ears tell you that you're not. You are hearing it right. Does that make her crazy? Yes, it did. It does make her crazy. She crazy. Cray. She cray. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Today. Savage Patience will be on today. What am I saying tomorrow? Today we'll be on at 6:30. Make sure you join us to welcome Decoy. He doesn't know that's his nickname yet, but I'll be changing it on the screen. So he's a fun guy. Trust me, he's a real good guy. It might take him a little bit to acclimate to our dynamic, but I think he'll be just fine. So just y'all make sure y'all join us later today to welcome Glenn to the podcast as a member of Savage Patriots. So we'll see you guys at 6:30 today. If you haven't been over to Too Strong, we've been dropping videos like 40 going north, 5 a day. Please go help us out by either sharing or watching it yourself. And we thank y'all a lot. Scrolling at the bottom, you know what to do with that. Talk to God. If he says yes, he says yes. If he says no, it's no. Just do what he say. Love y'all. Mean it. Depths of my heart. Please, ladies, take this to heart. I don't want you to be upset at anything I said, but if you do get upset, then that's okay too. I'm fine with you being upset. Have a grand rest of the day. Wisdom calls to you from the streets. So please find wisdom. Peace.
Hold tight the dreams, for if dreams die, rely on yourself and always